You know the exact moment. A tiny, harmless comment from your partner lands, and within seconds, the room detonates into a massive, familiar conflict. We try to solve these recurring fights by treating them as communication problems. We buy books, we practice I statements, and we assume that if we can just find the right words, the fighting will stop. But look at what actually happens during the fight. One partner typically turns into the bunker. They respond to the conflict by detaching from their physical body, retreating into a cold, emotionally flat realm of rigid facts and logistics. The other partner often experiences a massive internal surge. They are hit with an overwhelming wave of intense emotion and panic that completely defies the scale of the present moment. At this point, the brain's higher functions have effectively gone offline. The architecture required for empathy and reasoning has collapsed, making logic an impossible tool.
To understand the bunker, we have to look at the division of labor inside the head. The brain operates using two very distinct hemispheres that rely on constant communication with each other to function properly. The left hemisphere is the ivory tower. It processes information linearly. It handles language, logic, and literal facts, operating at a safe distance from the raw input of the body. The right hemisphere is the seat of bodily feeling. It processes emotional attunement, nonverbal signals, and the autobiographical sense of who we are. In an integrated brain, the two sides collaborate through the corpus callosum, allowing us to feel an emotion and name it. But if early experiences are emotionally absent, the brain adapts. It pours resources into left hemisphere logic, while right-side somatic networks remain thin. This means that when the bunker partner seems cold in an argument, they aren't withholding connection. They are literally lacking the neurological hardware required to access and express the emotional data their partner is asking for. The partner who explodes is facing a different physiological breakdown, driven by a specific type of storage called implicit memory. Normal explicit memory acts like a mental filing cabinet. It records factual events and attaches a crucial timestamp, letting your conscious mind know exactly when an event happened in the past. Implicit memory carries no such marker. It encodes purely physical data, raw perceptions, bodily sensations, and sudden emotional surges, without ever tagging them as the past. When a present-day trigger occurs, the brain releases cortisol. In high doses, cortisol physically disables the hippocampus, the very organ responsible for applying those chronological timestamps to our experiences. Simultaneously, adrenaline sears these raw, untimestamped sensations directly into the body's nervous system. To the body, this isn't a recollection, it's a current event. The nervous system fires a severe threat response, unable to distinguish memory from reality. This leaves the exploding partner's left brain scrambling to find someone to blame in the present, while their entire nervous system is effectively trapped in the year it was most afraid. Because these arguments are driven by untimestamped memories, debate is useless. You cannot talk your way out of a physiological state when the integration centers are offline. This graph shows the window of tolerance, the band of arousal where the prefrontal cortex stays online and receptive. During a conflict, both partners exit this window. One spikes into chaotic hyperarousal, while the other drops into rigid hypo-arousal. Re-entering the window requires somatic safety. Physical cues, like deep breathing, signal the body is safe. The hippocampus comes back online, creating a dual focus. You hold the past memory's intensity while knowing you're physically safe today. This is the process of stimulating neuronal activation and growth, or SNAG. By using focused attention to bridge the gap between safety and memory, you create the sustained neural firing that builds new synaptic connections. You aren't just surviving an argument, you are modifying the memory architecture that